Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got another action figure review for you today, and we're going to be taking a look at the Clone Commander Wolffe from the Black Series line. So we're going to jump into it. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel as always, and leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. So first of all, what's going to come in the box? So obviously, as I'm sure you looked at straight away, we've got Clone Commander Wolffe's awesome helmet. It looks fantastic. I mean, in terms of the clone customized helmets, I love them all. They look so cool. The paint applications on this thing are fantastic. They've got the little bit of weathering going on there, but they've got the decils and the kind of design going on really nicely. The rangefinder does move down, which looks awesome, and yeah, this helmet is interchangeable with his head, so that's really nice because you have the helmet from a prop point of view, but also you have it as a character addition. So it's really nice because you can have Wolffe either with a helmet or without. In terms of his weapons, you can see I've got them holstered. He does come with the famous clone kind of ARC Trooper blaster pistols. They look really good. They're sculpted just like the on-screen look, and they're in black like they are on the screen, but they've got kind of like this it's kind of like a gunmetal grey black. It's quite close in between the two, so it gives it that kind of that different look of definition, which is really nice rather than just black or just grey. And they go in those holsters on the belt really nicely. In terms of the design of Wolffe, I mean, look at this head sculpt. It looks fantastic. I think they've really captured, especially considering this is the re-released version in the OG box. Like, this is the old school Black Series line. So he looks cool considering that this is an older sculpt. But I mean, when you look at the head and you consider the time, and then consider like the time now that it's it's still timeless, it still looks awesome. And then they've captured the scar really well on Wolffe, and I'm currently watching Bad Batch and hoping that we see more clones and more action. What are we, episode 5 or something at the moment? Don't quote me at the end of the season because we don't know yet, but I mean, it is chugging along a little bit at the moment. Like, I am struggling because it's just not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way more longer episodes for a start, and way more kind of action packed, or a lot more reference to Clone Wars and these other characters. I know Rex and stuff is going to come in at some point. I mean, we can only hope that it's soon. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing maybe if we see how Wolffe got his chip out, and we see Gregor and stuff like that. Obviously we know that those two ended up going on the road with Rex in Rebels, but I mean, taking a look at that head sculpt, just looks fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, when you look up close and look at the eyes, mouth, the nose, they've captured the actor's likeness and the face, but I really like the white out eye and the scarring on there, so it looks really good. In terms of the actual look of Wolffe, they've nailed it. I mean, they've really captured his likeness really well. I mean, I love all of the the decils of the Wolffe Pack logo and the weathering and stuff like that. In terms of the paint application, as ever with a clone, I mean, with troopers it's typically white and black base and then some colouring here or there, but they've nailed it. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of from the ground up. When you look at his body, you've got the grey and the white of the armour, the black undersuit, you've got nice soft goods with a grey lining, which is really nice, that kind of ARC Trooper skirt that we know and love. You've got the sculpted white holsters, looking at the arms, you've got some wrist detailing, kind of like a comms panel. You've got some nice weathering again throughout. The Wolfpack logo on the pauldron, is the paint application on that is fantastic. It looks really cool. Again, the weathering on the chest plate, the emblem on the other side with the antenna, just looks fantastic. I mean, I'm a big fan of Wolffe now, taking a look at him in hand. Again, I slept on the clone commanders for a long time and the clones, but I'm really getting into it at the moment. So Wolffe looks fantastic. In terms of articulation, we'll move on to that. He is a little bit of a stiffer character. it's a bit of a stiffer figure from the kind of older line. So he's got some good articulation here and there, but out of the box he's going to be a bit stiff from the kind of from the ground up. So this is part of the thing I've run into with Clone Commander Gree, is that these ankles, if I can get it into focus for you, these ankles, they will go all the way out flat. They will go completely toe pointed, but the back of the boot here is going to stretch because of it, because the foot has to force its way up under, and it will kind of contort the leg armor. So that's not amazing. So it will go if you really want it to, but I'm not going to force mine at the moment because I don't want to mark it just yet. So in terms of a toe point, his toe point though is fantastic, like really really good. He's obviously got the ankle pivot as normal, you would expect. He's got the double jointed knees, which is really good, with the knee pad centered, which is nice rather than up or down. He won't go completely all the way up, but that's a really good range of motion, so I'm not worried about that. In terms of at the hips with the legs, with that slight rotation, he will come up completely to 90, as we see with the clones, and he will kind of swing back as well. He's got a really good split, all things considered, as well. And because of this joint, you can kind of twist. You can see you can twist the legs out and in. So that is good articulation, to be fair, because you can move all the way forward, back, and to the side, and you can kind of, if he's trying to open up his body, instead of being able to contort it in a way that's just not realistic, you can kind of twist the legs like that to angle him, which is really good. In terms of the bottom of the torso, you can see that that's set. The belt is loose, which is nice. It means you can move it around if he's twisting the torso, which is good, because that means that it's just more versatile, especially for photography purposes. For a display it is also good, but for a display typically there's not a lot of movement. But for toy photography, the posability of a figure is obviously one of the most important things. So that's really good. In terms of the abs and the crunch, his belt does get in the way a little bit, but he does have a really good kind of ab movement forward and back. So he's got good crunch side to side, and he will swivel, so really good there. In terms of the arms in the hands, you can see he'll do the normal 360, and he'll curl his arms in, which is good because it means he can can hold his helmet or other accessories as a commander, which is really good. Always like to see that extra articulation in the hand. He's got double joints in the elbows. Again, with the older clone commanders, you can see that the pad, I like that they've got the centered pad, because it means it doesn't expose that big joint, but it means that he can only kind of get to 90 because it kind of gets in the way, it gets trapped there. But again, 90's good. 90's more than fine. In terms of the shoulder pauldron, it will go up over the top to 90 if you want it to. Again, it's one of those where it's not rubbery. It is, but it's not as pliable as the newer one, so you can kind of twist it forward is a good way to kind of catch it on the lower lip, and then when you twist back you can kind of help guide it up over the top. So it will go up over the shoulder to 90, but again you've got a nice bicep swivel, so he can make up for a little bit of a difficulty there by having a bigger range of motion. When you have a bicep swivel, you can just do more, and typically a lot of the newer figures don't really have a bicep swivel. So that's good. In terms of the head, again, he will go 360, which is really good as normal. That head just looks so cool. He's seen some shit. In terms of tilt, he will tilt forward and back a little bit, but not much. Again, side to side a little bit, but not much. With the older clones, like you'll see with Gree, Gree has no he doesn't have a head sculpt, to be fair, but it's just the helmet, but he has no articulation apart from swiveling around 360. So with Wolffe, that's not too bad, and considering that he's going to have this helmet, which again it's kind of like this rubbery if I can get that into focus for you, it's kind of like this rubbery material, so you can be careful taking the helmet on and off too much, because you don't want to, you know, kind of rub up this this face sculpt in the nose, but he will pop his helmet on over there. So in terms of his look, like, he does look fantastic with the helmet and without it, but I definitely think that he looks even more awesome with the helmet, which, when you consider his face in the face sculpt, that's saying a lot. He's an awesome looking figure, and you can see that the hands are nice and pliable. Get that pistol in really easy. So in terms of presence, this guy has got it all. He looks fantastic. In terms of versatility, he's a clone, and I don't expect anything less than what I'm getting with this clone. He looks awesome, kick-ass. He could be in any scene, anything of the clone era. He can be used in. Again, he's a clone commander. He's versatile, and he's got so much presence. Again, you can use you can use some liberty with it. You can have him in the the post-Republic era, kind of working as a mercenary if you want, and that sort of thing. So he's definitely versatile. I think as presence on a shelf, he is an awesome looking clone. For me, for toy photography, I'm so glad I picked him up. I can't believe that I slept on the clones for so long, but especially in the last year or two, getting back into Clone Wars and stuff like that, like, these figures, they're really good, and I'm looking forward to them releasing more clones moving forward in the Black Series line. I don't think it's out of the the realm of possibility with the amount of clone era projects going on at the moment. So in terms of versatility, I definitely think he's something to pick up. Clone Commander Wolffe, what a character, especially considering that we see him and Gregor and Rex down the line. So you can say he's one of the ones that made it, survive through it all, but in the Clone War era, he's he looks like he kicks some ass. So definitely an awesome figure. In terms of a score, I'm going to give him a 9. I mean, I like that the head has a separate sculpt, helmet is removable, the rangefinder's articulated, got pistols and holsters, soft goods on this skirt for the ARC Trooper skirt. The decals and the paint applications are fantastic. So big thumbs up for Commander Wolffe. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. As ever, do leave a like on it if you enjoy it. It helps me out, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I hope this has been informative for you. So I'm going to leave you with this one. As always, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.